Hey, how are you? Hope you're good. This is Fantasy Underground, and today we are continuing the series on reviewing rookie play. And based on the screen that you're looking at, you may have guessed that we are looking at Guriyo, Team Diamond's DPS player, primarily hitscan, who comes from the same team as Flora from last offseason. Today we'll be reviewing a good but not great hitscan player who honestly doesn't look that good when flexing to other heroes. We do see a lot of improvement between the 2021 Season 1 and Season 2, but nothing crazy. We'll dig into some comps here as we progress and get a better idea of who this player is. We will start off with some pretty messy Tracer play here. He is now getting 1v4'd by Talon here. This is a matchup where from the beginning, Team Diamond in 2021 Season 1 was outmatched from the start. But if we slow down the play that we just watched, Guriyo does not have the cleanest Tracer mechanics. Now, he is up against hitscan, who is an elite tier Tracer who will one day be tearing up the Overwatch League. As we watch, there's a punch into thin air. He then gets hit from afar by Develop, who is using his infra sight on the Widow. He is forced to recall. And when getting recalled, he is absolutely surrounded by Diva, by Tracer, by Ball, by Widow. Didn't really stand a chance. Not the best mechanics to end up in this position, but what's a guy got to do? Well, maybe he can be playing with his team. I guess that's something he could do. On the second point of Busan, we will see him on the McCree, and things look a little bit better. The first team fight, Team Diamond goes Brawl, and he flanks on the McCree and helps lay in a lot of DPS. Even while watching this play though, yeah, there's a nice shot. Really nice flashbang, nice kill. But there's still, a lot of imperfections in his play. So if we back up just a little bit and slow things down, we see the Brig is going down here. By the time Brig is dead, he's now rolling forward. He's putting himself in a little bit of a compromising position in the middle of the point, and he has to fall back to lamp. And even at that point, he gets very low. He nearly dies, wasting his cooldown for no real purpose there. And he does turn around, does a nice job catching hitscan's Tracer once more here, doing some work. But, once again, even when he's on the McCree, he's on his favorite hitscan heroes, we're seeing a lot of imperfections in his play. I mentioned I didn't particularly like when he's flexing onto other heroes. Here on attack Team Diamond, he has EMP, and is using his first EMP when he was on Sombra at around 40 seconds. Slow EMP charge, partially due to the team, being a little bit messy. But if we go back and watch that play one more time in slow-mo, this isn't something that exactly gives you a lot of confidence. Now, Team Diamond is spread out. They're trying to approach, and they do not have the ult advantage. So they're really trying to force the play here. Try and use EMP and bomb in a situation where they are not ult favored. But I'm sorry, boss, this ain't it. The Diva bomb goes off. Guriyo's EMP catches exactly 0 people. And I suppose they've got Babel here. He does get Babel. My bad. I watched this clip a number of times and just now catching that. So you know what? They get one guy, but this is a Young Zhao Long EMP, I guess. Without any time to spare, in desperation play, Guriyo swaps to the Echo. He receives Quasid's Nano and promptly goes inside the tower where he gets Somensued a little bit. Not a successful play. What's he doing in there? I realize it's a desperation play, but, given a chance to carry on a hero he's not normally on, and things do not go so well for Team Diamond as they struggle in a loss to Team BM here. Swapping over to a second match that I watched of his, this is now moving on into Season 2 of 2021, and this is the play-in tournament where Team Diamond, now called GC Busan TDI, is playing against WGS. They ultimately lose the match to WGS, but hey, they're in the play-in tournament, and although they go out pretty early and they once again finish kind of mid to lower part of the pack, they're at least a competent team, competitive team. So a lot happens here, and we'll back up and watch in slow-mo once more, as we always do in boring fashion on this channel. And I show the Tracer play once more because I'm starting to like it a little bit more between Season 1 and Season 2, but I'm not trying to say he's an owl level Tracer here. So Vulture uses EMP here, and they get Inhyok, and the teams are trading out. Vulture does have to, after EMPing, get out of here fast. Guriyo does lay on the damage, and he doesn't get the final blow with the punch, but he does enough to force Vulture away and almost locks up that kill. So maybe if he landed 1 or 2 more shots, Vulture would be out, down and out, but not quite. And then he lands the pulse here. It's a sort of off screen, but we see him do enough damage to Inhyok, or sorry, to who is the tank here? Oh yeah, Arpin. He does enough damage to Arpin, then lands the pulse bomb and takes him out. And, you know, the rest from there is kind of just chasing. But I will say from watching the rest of this match that his Tracer did at least look effective. Although, once again, he's not going against hitscan. And Hidden and Vulture kind of stayed away a little bit from the Tracer. So when he's against more, I'll say, mediocre competition, he does look competent on these heroes. This is once more a little bit of a tragic Sombra play. I'll slow down just a little bit because... I mean, at face value, it looks like they're just cleaning up, but this is a painful one. So he uses that EMP. I'll back up. I don't know why I'm even showing it again. He uses the EMP, and this is Team Diamond really snowballing here. They've already taken the first point. They snowball the second point, and they have the ult advantage, and they quickly wipe WGS. Now, that EMP does absolutely nothing. You can see he's trying to get Vulture, who is attempting to charge his Primal to stall. But when he uses the MP, Vulture doesn't even have Primal. I feel like he should be able to tell that. It's not too hard to tell when a ulting Echo Winston has Primal ready. And he kind of just uses it to lock it down. And you know what happens? He completely wastes it. And then WGS runs it back. That EMP would have been nice to have later in that fight to finish the snowball there. The next play opens up with WGS up 3-2. And Guriyo gets an off-screen pick off of Vulture. Probably a nice play. We don't get to see it. And as we progress on the point here with WGS defending after a nice cap, we see a little bit of a tragic play here from Guriyo. Now, he doesn't have a bad map. I don't mean to dunk on this guy and say, wow, he's terrible. Or say he's dumb either. I'm not trying to do that by any means. You know, as much as I give him a hard time for the EMP last round, he later back-capped with Tracer and really spread WGS out. In this particular play, he misses a Storm Arrow, and you would really like to see it a little bit more effective. But at the end of the day, you can't win them all, right? And Guriyo's not the kind of guy who has that impeccable aim and is going to win them all. So as we watch here, when he gets the flank off here, it's, you know, he's even got the... He's got the wall hacks there, and he's got the Storm Arrow loaded up, and you watch in slow motion, and, you know, everybody's a champ in slow motion, but that's the kind of play you're expecting your hit scan to hit every single time. And I have a small sample size here on Guriyo, but he's regularly making plays like that. Not perfect, not bad. You know, that one's pretty bad, though. Now, Team Diamond does progress throughout the map, and they get to the final point. And here we see some clean play from Guriyo. He takes down Hidden in a very nicely placed Hanzo shot that we've got to watch in slow-mo to fully appreciate. You know, you'll see Hidden actually use a really nice shift. And while he's midair from that shift, he gets hit with the arrow and is taken down. Props to Guriyo for hitting that one. In our final highlight, we see Team Diamond in the final throws here before losing the match. And, you know, it's a pretty nice play. Guriyo, he gets the dynamite kill on Bono, and then he gets Hidden, and he also gets the finish here on Album. And overall, you know, King's Row, he really held his own. Really solid play, and even though they capped that first point, it's not enough to ultimately win the match for him. You know, when you give up 5 points in overtime and you're capping 4 here, you don't have too much going for you. But we'll watch in slow-mo as I kind of wrap up and summarize here on Guriyo, right? So going into 2021, we saw plays from guys like myKaylee and Gwangboong, who were showing absolutely insane mechanics. They did it so in a very limited meta, and if the meta last year during Overwatch League had been a little bit different and we'd had, Tracer Ashe, or it had been very static, I still believe that both of those guys could have been very effective, that being myKaylee and Gwangboong. Guriyo doesn't hit those same ceilings and those same insane mechanical skills that those two guys do. Now, we do see a little bit more flexibility, but I'm not seeing enough from him to say, oh yeah, he will play in a hitscan meta because he can also shift to these other heroes. I don't think his Echo, his Sombra, his Tracer are good enough to be played at the Owl level, at least not from what I'm seeing right now. So as I wrap up my thoughts on this player, in looking at the Dallas Fuel, I'll say, they picked up Edison to supplement Sparkle and Doha. And we've already seen and believe that Sparkle and Doha, they do miss that hit scan specialty, but Dallas has been able to make things work without that ability. Edison comes in, and in 2020, I believe he was a great tracer, and he was an okay hit scan player at the Owl level. In 2021, he was more of an okay tracer and kind of below average hit scan. And I still see Guriyo as depth behind Edison. I still believe this is a Sparkle and Doha team where those guys play 80+% of the time. Edison can come in from time to time, and if he's able to revive his career, he can definitely earn a lot of playing time. But with those three guys, I'm not seeing enough from Guriyo to believe that he actually gets significant play time. If we're comparing to situations, I see this as a 2021 Florida checkmate, where there's not really, in a set meta, maybe he gets playtime on a specific hero, but, there's probably someone else on his team who plays those a little bit better than he does and has more flexibility to boot. So, while I was wrong about Flora on Team Diamond, I also hope I'm wrong on Guriyo, where he earns playtime and shows us something that I'm not seeing. It doesn't make me happy in this channel to say, yeah, I don't think this player plays. I don't think he's good enough. And that's kind of what I'm saying about Guriyo here. It brings me no joy, but I do want to bring that independent perspective of what I believe I'm seeing, and I will happily be wrong, or excuse me, I would love to be wrong here and see this guy be successful and add to the fuel. So, agree, disagree, let me know. Be mean about it if you really need to. We'll see what comes of it. Happy camping, and we'll talk again soon.